chance?
Oh no.
Tango.
Here we go. Harry, Helen, guys, come on now, let's not get distracted. We got some work to do. All right, guys, come on. You guys better get serious in there. I'd be serious if I was in there. You know what? I'm sick of being in the van. You guys are going to be in the van next time. I've been in the van for 15 years, Harry.
Kungaloosh and welcome. My name's Wes, and this is Addicted to Adventure, your base camp to explore the treasures and mysteries of the adventure genre. Today we're talking about Episode 5 of National Treasure Edge of History. As before, there will be spoilers. Episode 5 opens on Billy's jet, where Billy and her flunkies are trying to decipher the Elvis riddle. Since Billy hasn't yet made the massive leap in logic that the riddle refers to Sacagawea like Jess has, she decides the clue is referring to a document written by Malinche. Back in Baton Rouge, Jess and Tasha are sweeping their apartment for electronic bugs. Billy appears at a black market antiquity auction looking for Malinche's Lost Codex, a journal supposedly written by Malinche herself. She's been told by experts that such a thing doesn't exist, which is technically true. What she actually finds is one of Hernan Cortez's journals, in which Malinche made a few entries. On a car ride with Weepy the White Knight, Jess tells Ethan that someone leaked the Elvis clue to Billy.
Actually, Tasha's convinced it's...
Liam?
You went there fast.
Do you think it's him?
No.
That contradicts the end of the last episode. Maybe the makers of the show were trying to leave us with a nice juicy cliffhanger, but that was definitely the implication, was that Jess strongly suspected Liam. Jess and Ethan arrive at the Louisiana governor's mansion to investigate Meriwether Lewis's journal, but they discover Liam is already there doing the same thing. They hide, eavesdropping around the corner. The curator tells Liam that the journal is no longer displayed full-time, but that it will be shown the next day at the governor's ball, which costs a mere $500 per person to attend. As he leaves, Liam is overheard on the phone telling someone,
I'm gonna need you to wire me the money today.
Back at her apartment, Tasha confesses that she fished Liam and gained access to his banking records.
$50,000 was wired into his bank account just now.
$50,000?
Yes.
Billy was willing to pay you anything for that box. I'm guessing she paid Liam off.
At work, Jess confronts Liam about the $50K in his bank account. Liam denies any involvement with Billy and leaves angry. Agent Ross delivers the English U sample to the medical examiner, asking him to investigate if it could have been what killed Agent Sadusky. Billy travels to the University of Mexico City to have Cortez's journal translated.
Amazing. A girl called me recently asking about Malinche's lost writing. She was very insistent. I told her it didn't exist.
This is one of Malinche's entries. I need you to translate it.
At Jess's apartment, Tasha remains insistent that Liam is the spy.
You should have seen how hurt Liam was when I confronted him at the club.
Just the boy is guilty. He may not be UGLY, but he sure ain't got no alibi.
Orrin barges in like Kramer and begins playing with Tasha's counter-surveillance equipment.
What is this?
Or please don't touch that.
Whoa. What the hell are you doing? No, just stop screaming! Those are worth half a G!
Another sneaker review, and let me tell you, I have not been this expensive.
So Liam's not the mole, Orange Shoe's the mole.
Back in Mexico City, the professor analyzes the handwriting in Cortez's journal. The professor shows Billy an example of Cortez's writing, and it turns out it doesn't match the book she bought. It's a fake. She is, not surprisingly, unhappy about this. The professor also tells her that he knows what she's looking for, and tells her that the Pan American treasure is a myth. Jess goes to Sadusky's house to apologize to Liam.
I came to apologize. I know you're not the mole. If anyone should have given you the benefit of the doubt, it's me. Because I've never gotten it before. And I know how bad it feels.
You?
The minute someone's milk money went missing at school, whose backpack do you think they checked first?
Okay, this scene is a mess. It's all over the place, and its primary purpose seems to be to inject politics into the story, which is something I really love. It takes Jess's supposed apology to Liam and makes it into a victimhood story that's essentially just supposed to make the audience feel bad. It kind of feels like the scene was already written, and then somebody came back in afterwards and copied and pasted in political messaging. I'm kind of dating myself here, but if you remember the days of Whiteout, you could always tell when it was used. It was really obvious, and this kind of feels like that. Every other scene in the show is at least competently written, but every time there's political messaging, the scene has no flow whatsoever. It just feels really stilted, like somebody just showed up and dumped political messaging in the middle of the room. It doesn't fit, and that's what this feels like. Liam apparently accepts the apology because they start making out. Liam explains that his mom loaned him the money to pay the property taxes on his grandpa's house. Having reconciled, they agree to go to the governor's ball together, but the only tuxedo Liam has access to is a hideous thing from the 70s that belonged to his grandfather and doesn't fit him properly. Back on the jet, Billy's tech guy Dario reports the bad news.
They found the bug, and they put us in a loop of Oren's sneaker channel.
That means they're having conversations they don't want us to hear.
This might be the dumbest line I've heard come out of Billy's mouth. You can't honestly expect someone to find an electronic bug and then leave it be, can you? Like, oh, I've been bugged, I guess it's okay. People, even people that aren't treasure hunters, are kind of touchy about that thing. What's it called? Oh yeah, privacy. Dario zooms in on Oren's YouTube video, and Billy sees Jess's Daughters of the Plumed Serpent medallion. Billy guesses that the medallion must have come from the Mexican treasure hunter Rafael Rios, and surmises that although Rios' wife and daughter were presumed dead, they must have been Jess and her mother Manuela.
Guess we know why Sadusky gave her that clue.
This changes everything.
This leads Billy, through several rather large leaps in logic, to determine that the crew are looking for Meriwether Lewis's journal, and she announces that they will also be attending the ball. Back at Oren's apartment, we learn that Dumbass McSneakers is the best tailor in town, according to Jess, even though we never actually see him do any tailoring. Through a series of contrivances, the entire crew, plus Weepy's girlfriend Mina, end up going to the governor's ball. Back at the FBI field office, the medical examiner, Dr. Zeke, arrives to see Agent Ross and deliver some news.
Turns out your suspicions were right. The English U killed him.
Really?
Well, I mean, if you believe in science, not everybody does these days.
No, f*** you. Science is not a belief system. Science isn't even a philosophy. Science is a method of inquiry, you sanctimonious.
Definitely a believer.
Then you shall be blessed, my child. Dr. Zeke apparently likes the librarian type because he chats up Agent Ross, asking about suspects in the death of Agent Sadusky. This reminds Agent Ross of Jess and Tasha trying to report the abduction of McSneakers, and that apparently leads to an epiphany.
Oh man, I gotta go, but I owe you one.
Yeah, coffee sometime? I like anything with the word nitro in it.
You got it.
And bring your handcuffs! You know, in case you need to arrest somebody. As Agent Ross runs off, she calls the USS Kidd Museum to request surveillance footage. The group arrives at the governor's mansion with a very loose plan to inspect and photograph the journal.
Everyone here is straight up loaded. Did you see that guy who just walked by?
You mean Senator Waller?
Yeah, more like Senator Baller. Dude was wearing a $40,000 Rolex.
40K for watch? I mean, I am sure it has a perfectly legal and ethical, even, story on how he acquired said watch.
Holy shit, you guys. Did you know politicians are corrupt? Liam tells the group that the ball is also going to be a surprise birthday party for the governor, so they plan to wait until the cake and champagne are brought out and then slip away to look at the journal.
That right there is colonialism on a plate.
Okay, have a crab leg.
We're still being complicit, Oren.
Tasha is officially the most insufferable character on the show. Her character only exists to provide hand-wavy tech solutions when the writers are lazy, and to inject politics into the story. She's the worst. While they're waiting for their opportunity, Mina tells Jess how much she likes Ethan. Dumbass McSneakers hobnobs around the party looking for funding to start a sneaker-related company, and then Bad Romance by Lady Gaga starts playing. The entire group, including Liam and Mina, goad Jess and Weepy the White Knight into reprising their cotillion dance routine.
Well, now I gotta see it.
Come on, give us a little reunion tour.
The dance is rather passionate, and it's pretty clear that neither Liam nor Mina are very pleased about this.
Remember, you wanted this.
Liam and Mina, both apparently upset by the dance, are gone when Jess and Ethan return to the group. Out on the balcony, Mina tells Ethan that she thinks he's still hung up on Jess and then leaves. Jess tries texting and calling Liam, but both go unanswered. She leaves a long-winded voicemail message, ending right as the crowd starts singing Happy Birthday to the governor. Afraid they'll miss their window of opportunity, she rushes upstairs to the journal, entering just in time to see Liam dart out of the room with the journal. She begins to chase after him just as a state trooper enters the room, assumes she stole the journal, and then tells her to freeze. She wedges her shoe in the door to delay the trooper as she runs downstairs, but finds there are more state troopers blocking the exit. Jess sends a text to Tasha asking for a diversion so she can escape. Naturally, Tasha's answer is to climb on a table and begin a political diatribe.
Shame on all of y'all fat wallets whining and dining while our public schools crumble, while our aging senior population experiences food insecurity. Hey, ho, ho, politicians gotta go. Hey, oh, ho, yeah.
Small business taxes.
Gotta go. What the hell are you doing?
I got your back. I'm fighting for the people.
Whoo! Be careful there, sneakers. The diversion does cause the trooper at the door to leave, but another trooper spots Jess as she reaches the exit and gives chase. Jess runs from the mansion as the police cars close in. A fancy Jaguar stops in front of her.
Get in.
Well, this marks the halfway point of the show, and unless something changes, which I don't think is likely, I don't see great things in store. This is an adventure series that is surprisingly light on adventure. In fact, I think you could make the argument that there's been more politics than adventure so far. I dislike politics. I resent that I even have to talk about politics, but unfortunately that just seems to be the way everything's going. Nothing can just be fun anymore. Nothing can remain apolitical. Everything must include the message, and it really pisses me off. This episode had a real missed opportunity, I think. Earlier on, Billy says that she and her henchmen would be attending the governor's ball. Well, if they were there, we didn't see them. Wouldn't it have been great if instead of all the teenage angst and relationship drama, what if we had had a confrontation at the governor's mansion between Jess and Billy? Wouldn't that have been a greater use of screen time? Also, I was wrong in my prediction about a heist at the governor's mansion. True, there was still a clandestine plot. The journal still ended up getting stolen, but it wasn't a full-on Ocean's 11 heist like I predicted. At the time, I remember thinking that would be derivative and gimmicky. But after seeing this episode, I think I would have preferred that, honestly. This show, my disappointment is mounting. The more I think about this show, the less I think of it. And at this point, I'm going to lower my grade for the show to a C-, and I feel like that's being generous. If I dwell on it, I'll just want to lower the grade further. I'm curious to know what you think, mainly of this episode, but also of the show in general. Also, if you like what I'm doing here, please like and subscribe. It really helps me out. And until next time, fortune and glory, my friends.